Well, today is August 27th. So, what's new? Oh, that's right. Just got a brand new haircut. I feel better. I feel refreshed. But at the same time, I'm excited to what I'm going to be reviewing for all of you. We got the latest ChocoPro show. We also got night one of NWA 74. And of course, week three on the latest New Japan Strong Tour High Alert. And of course, a couple of news updates regarding mostly coming from GCW, but also I'm going to unveil right before the end of this episode the brand new logo by Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to the Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, let's begin with the latest ChocoPro show, 249, which is really interesting. Opened up with another exhibition match by the new trainee Miya, taking on, of course, our resident Apple, Mei Suruga. Now, this is not an actual match that we normally see. This is, as you know, they test the new trainees every time. Now, we've seen this before with Chiko Shikawa, Lulu Pencil, Tokiko Kihara, Rin Rin, who's now with Gleet, and a few others. But I have to say, Miya, she is look like she is really determined to prove herself. But however, once again, like last time, the match ended in a time limit draw under about 5 minutes, from my understanding. So basically, but Miya kind of went overboard, almost choked out Mei Suruga, but it happened that way. Now, our next match, we have a very interesting three-way match. We have Sayaka Obihiro taking on Shin Suzuki versus Masahiro Takanashi. Now, this particular match, I'm like, okay, anything could happen in any possible way. Now, Shin Suzuki, as you know, he's a fan of Masahiro Takanashi, so he's willing to know that this is going to be a very difficult match for him, but he has to pull through. However, the way this match ended, I was a bit of surprised how it ended. It ended with Shin Suzuki picking up a win on Sayaka Obihiro. Now, you can say Masa might have thought, he's stolen this win, but it was more like, okay, you did pretty good. So he's not sure what to make of it, but Shin Suzuki really put up a very impressive match. Now, our next match, we have Chiko Shikawa teaming up with her rival, Mei Suruga, taking on Yuna Mizumori and Ken Oka. Now, as you know, Ken Oka and Yu Mizumori are good friends. Ken Oka has booked her on several occasions during Gambari Pro events, so that's the reason she is doing what he's doing. But it shows us a lot of things about this particular match because, from my understanding, we don't know if Yuna Mizumori and Ken Oka are targeting the Asian Dream Tag Team titles, which is something I know for a fact that has to be obtained. But currently, as you know, our current champion, Balin, he's overseas. But right now, I think this could be one of those factors that could put them on the map for that. But it was Yuna Mizumori that picked up the win when she did a bomb splash onto Chiko Shikawa to pick up the win. Now, as we normally do, we end the entire event with the Jonkin tournament. I wasn't sure how it was going to be, but my money was originally going to be with, of course, Chiko Shikawa. But once she got to the finals, she had to face against Sayaka Obihiro. But unfortunately, Sayaka actually won the Jonkin tournament. So I thought it was pretty cool. So we'll see what happens in 250, which is the next one after that. But right now, let's move on with NWA 74. As you know, NWA are now stepping into their biggest event, as always. We like to call it their version of WrestleMania, NWA 74, which is a 2-night event. Now, I did not see the pre show in case anybody asked. I did not see it. I felt like there was nothing important that took place, but some things that had transpired that was later mentioned in this particular thing. So, it opened up with Nick Aldis, as you know. He was supposed to be the one challenging in night 2 for the 10 pounds of gold, but somehow it got switched over, given to Tyrus. And I have to say, Nick Aldis gave an emotional speech. It kind of felt like, some people are telling him, Aldis, just hang up the boots. But Aldis doesn't seem like he's that guy that should call it quit just yet. He still has a lot to prove to everyone else. And that's pretty much what makes Nick Aldis the national treasure of NWA. And I think that tells it all. So I was really surprised about this. Now, our opening match, we have Nims, who comes back after an injury he obtained by Tyrus, takes on Control Your Narrative, EC3. I thought the match was pretty much straightforward, powerhouse type, but unfortunately it was, of course, a submission move that allowed EC3 to pick up the win. But however, once again, the propaganda spread. Then here comes Tom Latimer. Now, instead of trying to fight him, somehow EC3 got into his head, tried to, how do I put this, tried to say things about him. Things that, kind of like what we're seeing with Honor No More with Josh Alexander. And I think that kind of tells it that he really got into him. That he made him see his opening, that he's telling him, control your narrative. We've been seeing that a lot with him, what he tells wrestlers that he come across with. But yeah, but we'll find out when the time comes. Now our next match is a Bezelud Bedlam match. We have the Obigon consistent of Jeremiah Plunkett, Alex Taylor, and Danny Deals versus the Miserable Faithful, Gags the Gimp, Sal the Pal, and Judas, along with Father James Mitchell. I thought this match was nuts, in every aspect. But one thing it was crazy is the way Alex Taylor might have gotten himself hurt when he was on the top of the stairs, ladder, and might have hurt his back on the ring ropes. I'm not sure exactly if that was interesting, but in this particular match, Medusa, who had her problems with Danny Deals over time, decided to confront him, but he got white powder in the face. But it did give Judas the win of the match. So it kind of goes out in a way where now we're seeing the Miserable Faithful are making some headways in this whole thing. Now, our next match, we have what it is, a Odison versus Chris Adonis. I thought this match had a little bit of the strength and powerhouse on this one, but it ended with the disqualification thanks to Odison using his little spray canister that he uses to put on his mouth onto all the Adonis, but apparently the ref saw it. He gave this match up to Adonis for DQ. Now, we see an interview by Kyle Davis. Two Pretty Empowered, as you know, they are determined to prove that they are a true, legit tag team. Now, many of us question, are they really true? Because we've seen in the past somehow that Ella Envy does things beyond her abilities, knowing that she has to cut corners. Kenzie Page feels like, no, we don't need to cut corners. We just need to prove ourselves. But there's a blur line with that. But we'll see what happens when they face the Hex Girls. The Hex. Now, our next match is the NWA Junior Heavyweight Championship between Kerry Morton along with his dad, Ricky Morton, taking on Homicide. Now, this match was amazing. I think it showed, okay, Kerry Morton wants to step into the shoes of his dad, but however, Homicide, instead of trying to treat this as a friendly fight, he decided, play a little dirty on it. And that's something I know for a fact. Homicide's not here to play nice. He's here to play dirty however he wants in order to retain the title. And that's what he did until he applied the Avalanche Koji cutter, and 1, 2, 3, it was over right there. Now, our next interview, we have a legend that came into the mix from. Then we have Tommy Rich, who talked about his history, with the NWA and all this and that. And I think he's very happy that he's there to be part of, to witness what's going to happen in the NWA. Now, another interview comes in with May Valentine, where they talk to Thrillbilly and Boyo Damar, where, of course, Thrillbilly will be facing on night 2, what's his name? The current MLW National Openweight Champion, Davey Richards, for the title. And I think this is going to show that he's really up for it. But, however, when it comes to Davey Richards, that's a different story. So I think that kind of tells us he's going to have to be prepared for his match. Now, our next match, we have Matt Cardona. Now, Matt Cardona came back pissed off knowing that he gave up his world title, but he picked Rolando Freeman as his opponent. Now, the only reason he picked his opponent is because he thinks this will give him momentum that he's going to win. However, it did not go his way. Somehow, Rolando won the match by pinning him. It was the most biggest upset ever. Even Cardona cannot believe that happened. I mean, what was he thinking? That he thought that, oh, a guy that's so small is going to not win? Well, he should have done better than that. Now, our next interview we have from Kyle Davis, Aaron Stevens, who was at the pre-show, talked about his little insult that he had with Kratos. Now, we don't know what Kratos is doing back, but it looks like he wants payback for what Aaron Stevens might have done. We'll just don't know yet. Now, our next match is the NWA National Championship. This is between Zion along with his father, Austin Idol, to take on Jack Stain. Now, this particular match was impressive. Now, Jack Stain, as you know, he would do anything in his power for being a weasel that he is to make sure he does not lose the title. He even tried to walk away. He's like, nope, I'm not losing my title like this. So he got back in the ring, but of course, Anthony Mayweather show up. Zion did not like the idea of getting help. However, even Idol didn't even help him. Like, he didn't just, he did not get his hands dirty. He guided Zion, his own son, how to get to where he needs to be. And that's exactly what he did. He did the Death Valley driver onto Jack Stain and became the brand new NWA National Champion. And I think this is good. So that means right now, Idolmania Sports Management, they get a gold in their pockets. Now, our next match is a tables match between Mike Knox and Bully Ray. Mike Knox, he's been insulting Bully Ray for a while, saying that it was his fault for his misery and all this other stuff. But Bully Ray did not waver. But one thing it was cool is, of course, in the last few moments of the match, Mike Knox went through a table instead of being put through. But however, Bully Ray was able to put him through a table, sealing the deal from there. So I thought it was pretty amazing. Now, our next match is the NWA World Tag Team titles. We have Hawks Harry, Luke and PJ, father and son, team taking on La Rebellion along with Damien 666, who's there. I thought this match was pretty good. I loved it. I like how they tried to separate one person to the other. But however, many fans might have thought this is Hawks Harry time to win the tag titles. However, it did not. Luke Hawks ended up with the mist thanks to Damien 666, allowing them to become the brand new NWA World Tag Team Champions. Now, before we go to our main event, we have William Patrick Corgan try to give the wrestlers in the main event for night 2, Tyrus and Trevor, their final thoughts. And of course, things got a little chaotic a little bit, but Patrick Corgan was able to control it, but it did work. Now, our next match is the Women's World Champion, the NWA Women's World Championship. I thought this match was unbelievably good. I loved it. It was so great. I think it showed the kind of match we definitely can enjoy. And I think this was amazing. But the way this match ended, the ref, Camille actually put um, Taya Valkyrie through a table, giving her the win. And I thought it was an amazing win. I can't wait to see what else is going to happen. But as you know, night 2, Camille will be facing Max the Impaler. So I'm going to be worried about that match, but we'll see what happens then. So right now, I think we'll end it right here with NWA and move on with New Japan High Alert. Our last review is at New Japan Strong with High Alert. Opened up with the DKC and Kevin Knight of the LA Dojo taking on this brand new team I never heard of called Heat Seekers, Matt Sugman and Elliot Russell. Now, I didn't know much about these guys, but they kind of were very interesting to follow. But one thing it did led is how this match became like a very interesting ending. The match could have gone in favor of Heat Seeker, but if it wasn't for the roll up that the DKC gave Kevin Knight in order to win the match, this was a big, how to say, surprising win out of the LA Dojo. This is something I think many fans would definitely enjoy. Now, our next one, once again, that piece of garbage, QT. We don't know why he's there. He continues to piss off people down there in New Japan. So he brought in this wrestler named Parker Lee, an easy opponent for him. So you probably guess that he ended it with the diamond cutter. However, he called in for opponent, and the opponent he did not anticipate was in fact Shota Umino, aka Shooter. Now, people were calling QT that he effed up, but he was like trying to pretend that he thinks that he's the hero of the story, claiming that people were talking negative about Shota Umino. But he was too much of a coward to wrestle him. I wouldn't be surprised if the New Japan matchmakers makes this match happen, and I hope Shota Umino teaches him a lesson, because as you know, he has a direct connection to Jon Moxley, and I hate to be QT Marshall if you piss off Jon Moxley. Trust me, you don't want that. And I hate to see that the Blackpool Combat Club will get involved. Now, our next match, we have Mascara Dorada versus TJP. Now, these two know each other. TJP, who is the biggest scum of the earth, decides to remove his mask on multiple occasions, but the match itself went exactly like I anticipated. But once again, that scumbag TJP decides to remove his mask and took advantage by applying the Black Mamba. But sooner or later, someone's going to put him in his place, thinking that he is the best wrestler in the junior cruiserweight division, whatever. Because they think the United Empire are there to fix the wrestling world. That's what I think is going on. But one way or the other, Mascara Dorada will get his revenge against him. I wouldn't be surprised if he put his mask on the line versus TJP's hair. That is something we could see. Now, our next match is our main event. We have the debut of the Workhorsemen, Anthony Henry and JD Drake, taking on Ren Narita, who is the carbon copy of Katsuyori Shibata, teaming with none other than one of the best junior heavyweight competitors in the world, Kushida. I thought, what a great. But Ren Narita did tap into the spirit of Shibata. I loved it. However, it was Kushida who picked up the win onto Anthony Henry, giving the Time Splitter the notification that he is here to stay and he's not playing around. And I thought it was really fun. So, what a match. I loved it. So I think that's pretty much it, what we got with New Japan Strong. So let's move on to our last and final thing, news updates. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, we got more on ChocoPro. I don't know what I'm going to be throwing in for the following day, but we do know NWA 74 Night 2 will be taking place. I might do that a little later, but right now I don't know exactly. So once again, I'm going to wing it to see what happens then. I got a little bit of free time, what I'm going to be doing for the next episode. But for now, I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, we got more on ChocoPro. I don't know what I'm going to be throwing in for the following day, but we do know NWA 74 Night 2 will be taking place. I might do that a little later, but right now, I don't know exactly. So once again, I'm going to wing it to see what happens then. I got a little bit of free time, what I'm going to be doing for the next episode. But for now, I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang.